The long, melancholic whistle of the Oasis Express tore through the vast, golden expanse of the Sahara Desert, promising its passengers, eager for luxury and adventure, an unforgettable journey through ancient landscapes and historic sun-drenched cities. However, what should have been a dream trip in sumptuous, air-conditioned carriages quickly transformed into a nightmare on wheels. Little did they know that, among the undulating dunes stretching seemingly to infinity, an ancient legend was terrifyingly coming to life on invisible tracks. A ghostly greenish glow began to appear on the horizon, accompanied by distorted wails echoing in the oppressive silence of the desert, turning the dream adventure into a desperate race against the unexplainable. Was it a mere mirage, a cruel and complex trick caused by the scorching heat that distorts reality, or was something far more sinister and unknown awaiting the intrepid Mystery Incorporated team in the most remote and desolate confines of the sand? What, or who, was behind the enigmatic and terrifying appearance of the ghost train, which seemed to defy all laws of physics and reason? Mystery Incorporated, comprised of the ever-planning Fred, the astute Daphne, the intellectual Velma, the cowardly but loyal Shaggy, and his inseparable canine companion Scooby-Doo, had boarded the majestic Oasis Express, a luxury train designed to offer an unparalleled and unforgettable experience through the pulsating heart of the Sahara. The first day of the journey was a true delight for the senses. The carriages were sumptuous, adorned with noble woods and luxurious fabrics, the cuisine was exquisite, featuring exotic dishes and fine wines, and the landscapes unfolding through the panoramic windows were breathtakingly beautiful, painted in shades of gold and ochre. The team was there, with no immediate case in sight, for a well-deserved vacation and a rare moment of tranquility, but Velma, with her tireless and curious mind, had already delved into books and documents, studying the local legends and ancient desert folklore. During the opulent dinner on the first night, a casual conversation with Mrs. Albright, an eccentric historian with keen eyes, brought to light the fascinating and terrifying tale of the Sahara Ghost Train, a spectral composition that, according to legend, appeared only to those who ventured deep into the forgotten depths of the desert. Fred, ever the skeptic and pragmatist, laughed at the story, considering it mere superstition, while Shaggy and Scooby-Doo cowered in panic under the table, trembling with fear at the mere mention of a ghost. Daphne, however, with her sharp perception, noticed a strange and almost enigmatic gleam in Mrs. Albright's eyes, as if she knew more than she was telling. That same night, the illusory calm was brutally shattered. The train shook violently, throwing passengers and objects, and a sharp, distorted, ghostly whistle echoed sinisterly through the windows, piercing the nocturnal quiet of the desert. Astonished and terrified passengers began to report loudly seeing a dark, shimmering figure passing at high speed, accompanied by a spectral greenish glow that seemed to emanate from nowhere. "It's the ghost train," cried a terrified passenger, their voice choked with fear. Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, in a frenzy of panic, hid in the luggage compartment, while the rest of the team gathered in the corridor, adrenaline coursing through their veins, to investigate the anomaly. Fred tried, with his usual calm, to defuse the situation and organize the team, while Daphne, with her innate concern, checked if everyone was okay and comforted the most frightened passengers. Velma, meanwhile, her mind buzzing with hypotheses, began to analyze the few intriguing clues available, unusual and deep scratches on the outside of the train and a faint, but unmistakable, smell of ozone in the air. The team, who had only sought a well-deserved rest, now found themselves inexorably at the center of a mystery that not even the vast and ancient desert seemed capable of hiding. What could those peculiar scratches and the strange, chemical smell be? And why had the ghost train appeared so early in the journey, almost as if it were waiting for them? After the shocking first appearance, the atmosphere aboard the Oasis Express radically transformed, becoming tense, with a palpable sense of apprehension in the air. The passengers, previously relaxed and enjoying the luxury, now whispered, with trembling voices, about ancient curses and spectral apparitions, their minds filled with desert legends. Mystery Incorporated, realizing the seriousness of the situation and the urgent need for a resolution, decided to act. Fred, with his methodical mind and passion for maps, began to chart the ghost train's route, trying to identify patterns and points of emergence in the appearances. He noticed, with a hint of surprise, that the sightings occurred at very specific points, always in elevated dune sections and at curves that seemed to hide something. Daphne, with her genuine concern for the well-being of others, organized informal night patrols and tried, with her calm and comforting voice, to reassure the passengers, while Velma, with her insatiable thirst for knowledge, delved into books on optics, paranormal phenomena, the peculiar geology of the Sahara, and even local folklore. She was determined to find a logical and scientific explanation for the mysterious greenish glow and the train's appearances. While the main team was dedicated to the investigation, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, in their incessant quest to avoid anything remotely scary, ended up hiding in an abandoned and dusty freight car, a place they considered safe for being seemingly harmless and full of boxes. To their surprise, and slight despair, as they only expected a quiet snack, they found an open box containing a series of complex diagrams and strange tools, with unknown shapes and purposes, as well as a set of old, dusty engineer uniforms with a peculiar smell. One of these uniforms had a strange and intriguing stylized eye emblem that seemed to observe whoever saw it. They understood absolutely nothing of what they saw, but the tools and diagrams seemed to have been custom-made to install or remove something from the sides of the train, perhaps some kind of equipment. While trying to get rid of those things, one of them accidentally activated a device that emitted a sharp, pulsating noise, identical to the mysterious train's ghostly whistle. This made them even more frightened, making them jump high, but Velma, upon hearing the muffled sound, realized that it was a specific and artificial frequency. The presence of these specialized tools and uniforms with such a peculiar emblem raised a crucial question: who else was using the Oasis Express's freight cars for such unusual and potentially sinister purposes? And what, exactly, were they secretly building or dismantling, hidden in the vast desert? The appearances of the ghost train became alarmingly more frequent, almost daily, always accompanied by that spectral greenish glow and the terrifying noises that seemed to emanate from the desert's very depths. The tension aboard the Oasis Express increased exponentially, and the train's director, a stout man with a serious demeanor named Mr. Hassan, showed growing irritation with the passengers' generalized panic, trying, with little success, to maintain order. Fred, with his detailed map and precise compass, noticed an undeniable and intriguing pattern. The ghost train always seemed to emerge near ancient ruins or historically significant sites, as if magically attracted to them, an echo of the past. Daphne, in turn, with her keen intuition, noticed that some passengers seemed more interested and curious about the mystery than genuinely frightened. She began to observe everyone's behavior on board with heightened attention, especially Mr. Hassan's and Mrs. Albright's, who seemed to have an unusual and almost intimate knowledge of the Sahara's legends and secrets. Velma, combining her extensive readings on optics and acoustic phenomena with Fred's precise observations, began to suspect a direct connection between the train phenomenon and the desert's unique geological characteristics. She discovered that certain specific rock formations and minerals, abundant in the Sahara region, could interact with high-frequency sound waves and light, creating complex optical illusions and projections. Meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, still recovering from the scare in the freight car, decided, in a rare moment of courage driven by curiosity, and perhaps hunger, as they hoped to find something edible, to investigate the engineer uniforms they had found more closely. To their surprise, and a new fright, they discovered that one of the uniforms had a secret compartment, cleverly hidden, containing an old, leather-bound diary and a torn map, with mysterious handwriting and drawings. The diary, written in elegant and intricate calligraphy, spoke of an old, abandoned railway in the heart of the Sahara and a legendary treasure, carefully hidden along its tracks. The map, in turn, had enigmatic markings indicating points near the ghost train's appearance routes, suggesting a direct link. Was the ghost train an elaborate distraction, a deception for something much larger and more valuable? And what was the real connection between the ancient and forgotten railway and the terrifying mystery the team was now facing? With the new and intriguing clues in hand, the Mystery Incorporated team intensified their investigation, feeling they were getting closer to the truth, but also more exposed. Velma, with the diary and map in her hands, realized, with a pang of anxiety, that the Oasis Express's route intersected with that of the old railway at several strategic points, suggesting a deeper connection than they had imagined. She theorized that the ghost train could be an elaborate illusion, or perhaps a side effect of something more complex, created to keep curious people away from something valuable and well hidden along the old, forgotten route. Fred, with his ingenious mind for traps and devices, set up cameras at strategic points in the carriages and along the tracks to try and capture the ghost train's image, aiming to unravel its true nature and the technology behind it. Daphne, increasingly suspicious of Mr. Hassan, noticed that he subtly and persistently tried to prevent passengers from leaving their carriages to investigate, creating an atmosphere of mistrust and mystery. One night, while Fred was installing one of his cameras in an unoccupied carriage, taking advantage of the darkness and silence, he was surprised by a cloaked and furtive figure who, without a word, tried to sabotage his equipment with unexpected violence. Fred, quick and strong, managed to defend himself, but the aggressor, equally swift, escaped into the darkness, disappearing without a trace. The direct confrontation made it clear that the threat was not just a ghost or a legend, there was someone, a physical and dangerous presence, behind the incidents, someone who absolutely did not want the mystery to be solved and the truth to come out. Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, who were in the adjacent carriage devouring a mountain of peanut butter and banana sandwiches, heard the sound of the struggle and Fred's muffled shouts. Upon investigating, with their hearts pounding, they found a brooch fallen on the floor, which, by an incredible coincidence, was identical to the stylized eye emblem they had seen on the engineer uniforms. Velma examined the brooch and the diary, revealing that the eye was the symbol of an ancient and mysterious society of explorers who operated in the region decades ago, searching for a lost treasure. Who was the aggressor and why were they so aggressively sabotaging the investigation? And what was the real, intricate connection between the legendary treasure and the ghost train haunting the desert? The Mystery Incorporated team was now under a clear and imminent threat. It was evident that a complex and dangerous conspiracy was underway, and they were very close to unraveling it. Velma, meticulously using the information from the diary and the torn map, identified a location where the old railway and the current luxury train route intersected in an abandoned and dusty tunnel, almost forgotten by time. She firmly believed that the secret hiding place of the secret society and the ghost train's operations base would be there. Fred, with his strategic mind, devised an audacious plan for them to investigate the tunnel without alerting the mysterious saboteur, who seemed to always be one step ahead. Daphne, meanwhile, tried to distract Mr. Hassan with incessant questions and seemingly trivial requests, keeping him busy and away from their activities. When the Oasis Express approached the tunnel area, shrouded in the darkness of the desert night, Fred, Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby-Doo managed to disembark stealthily, under the protective cloak of night. The tunnel was a dark and dusty labyrinth, filled with the echo of their own footsteps, but they soon found rusty tracks almost swallowed by the sand that led to a cleverly hidden secret chamber. Inside, to everyone's surprise, there was a train. Not a spectral ghost, but an old, time-worn composition, remarkably modified with state-of-the-art holographic projectors and high-frequency sound emitters, which explained the strange phenomena. There were also numerous stacked boxes, full of ancient artifacts and historical documents. Suddenly, a thick and familiar voice echoed in the chamber, startling them, "You shouldn't be here." It was Mr. Hassan, with a grim expression, and, to everyone's surprise, accompanied by Mrs. Albright, who now wore an enigmatic smile. They were the conspirators, the architects of the entire mystery. Hassan confessed that he was using the ghost train legend and advanced technology to ward off curious individuals and keep people away from the area, while Mrs. Albright revealed herself to be a direct descendant of the ancient secret society, using the artifacts and the old railway to search for a treasure hidden for centuries. But a crucial detail was still missing to complete the puzzle: where was the true treasure, and what was the main object they were so diligently and deceptively seeking? Mr. Hassan and Mrs. Albright, finally cornered, revealed their true motives and the extent of their plot. They were using the ghost train legend, amplified by cutting-edge technology, to divert attention from the incessant excavations they were conducting, searching for a legendary artifact that, according to their beliefs, would grant them access to incalculable fortune and unimaginable power. Velma, with her brilliant mind, realized that Mrs. Albright was using not only the diary and the torn map that Shaggy and Scooby-Doo had accidentally found, but also ancient knowledge passed down by her family. The ensuing confrontation in the secret chamber was intense and chaotic. Fred, with his ingenuity, used his improvised gadgets to disarm the villain's equipment. Daphne, with her agility and skill, applied her martial arts abilities to restrain Hassan, and Velma confronted the duo with her logical and irrefutable deductions, exposing every lie. Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, though still scared and trembling with panic, inadvertently caused a crucial distraction by knocking over a pile of boxes amidst the chaos, exposing an old and dusty chest, cleverly hidden beneath the false floor of the chamber. Inside the chest, to everyone's surprise and the villain's frustration, there was no gold or shimmering jewels, but rather an invaluable collection of ancient, delicately preserved manuscripts and a single, shimmering blue stone that seemed to emit its own light. Mrs. Albright, her eyes fixed on the stone, revealed that this was the sapphire of the Sahara, a legendary artifact that, when exposed to certain frequencies of light and sound, the same ones the ghost train emitted, would reveal the exact location of a vast, hidden, and unexplored oasis, a true ecological and archaeological treasure, untouched by civilization. Mrs. Albright's goal was to monopolize access to this oasis, exploiting it for her own benefit, while Hassan, driven by greed, wanted to sell it to the highest bidder. Mystery Incorporated managed, with intelligence and courage, to apprehend the duo, who were promptly handcuffed. The local police, alerted via satellite by Daphne during the confrontation, arrived at the scene, arresting both criminals. The ghost train was deactivated, revealing itself to be a complex and ingenious illusion, a work of technology disguised as legend. The true treasure was not gold or power, but rather an invaluable natural and historical secret, which the Mystery Incorporated team solemnly pledged to protect for future generations. The Sahara, once a desert of terrifying mysteries, now revealed itself as a guardian of incalculable wonders and hidden beauties. With silence finally returning to the vast and serene desert, and the terrifying ghost train unmasked as an elaborate technological hoax, Mystery Incorporated watched the sun set in a vibrant spectacle of colors over the golden dunes, painting the horizon in shades of orange, pink, and purple. The true treasure, the unexplored and untouched oasis, was now safe and protected, and the desert's legend would be rewritten, not with fear and superstition, but with the promise of preservation and admiration for nature. The journey through the Sahara had transformed a frightening mystery and an imminent danger into a valuable discovery and a legacy of protection, proving, once again, that not all treasure is made of gold or jewels, and that the greatest reward is the safeguarding of nature and the revelation of history. The whistle of the Oasis Express, now free of any haunting and without the ghostly noises, sounded like a melody of triumph and peace, taking the team back home, with another legendary adventure for their memories, and the Sahara, with its secrets unveiled, waiting for new stories.